A New York City jury is deliberating the fate of a man known as the most powerful drug trafficker in the world. He is Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Forbes magazine once named him Godfather of the drug world. News 4 Tucson's Lupita Murillo spoke with a Tucson attorney who has represented family members of El Chapo, and she has more in tonight's Crime Trackers report.
As the second day of jury deliberations winds up in New York, in Detroit, one of Chapo's alleged lieutenants goes on trial. His attorney is Steve Rawls, who, by the way, was asked by Chapo's family to represent Chapo in New York. Rawls declined. We caught up with him at the airport in Detroit and asked him about Chapo's fate.
There's a ton of evidence that was brought. There's a lot of information the jurors have to go. So I would anticipate that this case will probably go 3 to 5 days of deliberation.
The 8-women, 4-man jury have spent 3 months listening to 56 witnesses. Tony Colson is a retired Drug Enforcement Administration supervisor who worked on cases involving the Sinaloa cartel and its leader.
Chapo Guzman is by far and away probably the most powerful criminal in the world.
During the trial, jurors heard 200 hours of testimony, including Colombian drug trafficker Juan Carlos Ramirez, whose face is now disfigured by numerous plastic surgeries. He told jurors he and Chapo had moved 400,000 kilos of cocaine during the 1990s.
The defense knows that there's a lot of exaggeration that takes place. Granted, there was probably a lot of cocaine that was involved in it, but that number right there sounds excessive.
One witness talked about the drug billionaire and how he paid $100 million to a former Mexican president in 2012. Another talked about corruption on every level of the Mexican government.
The jurors are very smart. They go through it. They're very attentive. They'll determine whether or not the evidence convinces them beyond a reasonable doubt.
The defense team has maintained El Chapo was set up by El Mayo Zambada and that he bribed Mexican government officials to frame El Chapo so he could continue running the Sinaloa cartel. The 61-year-old faces 10 counts, including engaging in a continuing criminal enterprise, money laundering, and various drug charges.
He ran a pretty slick international organization, by far and away the most sophisticated, largest criminal syndicate in the world that still exists.
Evidence by last week's largest fentanyl drug seizure in the country that officials say belonged to the Sinaloa cartel. So what will the verdict be?
If I was in Las Vegas, I think the decision is probably going to come against him.
I hope the rest of his natural life he spends in a U.S. prison.
Steve Rawls is currently representing Marcos Paredes Machado of Agua Prieta. It's alleged he is responsible for smuggling multi-tons of marijuana into the U.S. Lupita Murillo, News 4 Tucson.